All right, play. This is trial run number 2, and that's what's up, baby. Yep.
What's the guy's name from Roseanne that married Roseanne? Tom Arnold. It's a number 2. That's such cornball shit. That's so bad, man.
It's so bad. So bad.
It's on my butt. It's on my butt. That's an skit from back in the day. I don't know if you remember that, but it was Chris Farley. Chris Farley. He did like a Tom Arnold. They did like a parody, obviously a parody. Tom Arnold and Roseanne. Yeah. It's Leary.
Back when Roseanne was a thing.
Yeah. Roseanne's still a thing, but I don't know what
she's deep in fucking QAnon and shit, dude. She's fucking off her rocker, dude.
See, all right. So I don't even know that anybody in the world would ever get off on listening to somebody talk about Roseanne, but Roseanne had the show back in the late 80s and going into the mid 90s. And what a great show it was until the end when it became such a weird show. But then she had like a late night show, like a talk show. I don't think a lot of people know that. I don't know. She's like a late night talk show, and she would be like, she had her hair was all braided up in like this cone.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh God, yeah, it was quite odd. And then then they did the next one. What did she say? Did she call somebody the N-word or some shit like that? Or
I think she dropped the N-bomb a couple times, and then something happened right after Roseanne got rebooted the show.
I think she called somebody the N-word on that. I think that's what it was. It's like she said something.
She just went off on like a tangent on Twitter or something, but I can't remember exactly what she said. I don't know. I don't even want to look it up.
Something to the extent it was definitely not politically correct, which this there's really nothing you can get away with if you say something that's outside of this really small circle.
Yeah, but I think
I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I think those things need to be.
Yeah, but she doubled down. She doubled down, and like after her show was canceled for a little bit, when they were like, it was under investigation kind of thing, she just went off the fucking rails. And then now I see her popping up on these super right-wing conservative channels on YouTube, and she's spouting fucking conspiracy theories and QAnon shit. I'm like, okay, well, she went balls deep, dude. She was like, fuck it. Like, fuck everybody. This is it
was something racist. It was Valerie Jarrett.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby. Oh yeah.
Yes,
wow.
That's what it was. She compared an African American woman to an ape.
Yeah, that's
so it's like, okay, well, you can't do that.
Okay. Yeah, that's not even. I don't even. It's not even like. That's not even racism. That's like, whoa. What?
Yeah, like what's the term for that? It's like you're not even again. It's so extreme that it's like worse than racism.
It's like extremism, man. It's like such a.
It's like speciesism. Is that a thing? I don't.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think that animals probably have complexes that they go through. And what is that right there? It looks like a nice Sugar Creek beer.
It is not. I would give you three guesses. It is an amber type of ale. It's a little hoppy. It originates from the West Coast, not as far west. Um,
Oh, was it Fat Tire?
you fucking asshole. I hate you so much. Because of Fort Collins, Colorado, and you just saw it was like an amber, and like, yeah. Dude, I tell you what, I used to hate Fat Tire. I remember the first,
Don't like it.
yeah, the first time that we went to, um, when New Belgium opened their spot in Asheville, their second location, we went and like there was this whole process. You get to see them like making Fat Tire and bottling it, and like you get to have free fresh samples. I was like, I hate this shit. I've never liked Fat Tire. But then one day I was just like, yeah, I kind of like Fat Tire. And so now I'll get it every now and then.
I never liked it. Never drank it. I serve it. But I was always so I always had Highland Gaelic Ale from
Yeah.
Highland Brewery.
Yeah.
Had that, and that was like honestly, that was my introduction to like good beer.
Funny story about Highland Gaelic Ale. That's literally the first 6-pack I ever bought once I turned 21.
It was my introduction to good beer. And so you're 5 years younger than I am. So at 26, I got a good beer. At 21, you bought a good beer. And so I was like, dude, this is really, really good. I didn't understand that there were different. I just, in my life, I just knew that there was Miller Lite, Bud Light, Coors Light, Budweiser. I drank Bud Heavy.
Those are your poundable beers.
Yeah, that's what I drank. That was my thing. Yingling. When I discovered Yingling, and like there's another beer called Sol from Mexico. Like everybody drinks Corona.
No, Sol's so much better.
I like Sol better.
Yeah.
I used to love Heineken, but I like that out of the can better than out of the bottle. Out of the can, Heineken's great. No, out of the can is great. Out of the bottle's terrible.
I just don't like it.
You ever had it out of the can? But then I never had I'd never had a dark beer. I'd never even thought about a dark beer. A beer that was brown. Why would you even think about having a beer that was brown?
Because they're delicious.
When you're at that age, 21.
Oh yeah. And at that point, you're like, give me that yellow piss water, bitch. That's all I want.
All I wanted. The only thing I wanted brown was the whiskey. And my friend Josh Griffin actually brought a 12-pack of Yingling over to my house. We were both underage. And we drank that in the barn. And we were drinking that shit. They were like, dude, this is kind of fucking good.
It's that fucking barn beer, bitch.
Barn beer. Like he's like, my new beer. Like, I'm done with Budweiser. I'm going to go to Yingling. And I have been with Yingling ever since. I have been with Yingling ever since. I drank Bud Light for a while. I drank Bud Light for a long time, actually, and Jack Daniels for a long time. And I was getting gout, here and there.
Yeah.
And every attack would be worse and worse.
Let me ask you this. I don't mean to cut you off, but like, is there any correlation between like dark liquors and clear liquors in effect in how it affects gout?
I'm not so sure. I mean, I think that I have kind of gotten through pretty much everything that I can and can't eat that does and doesn't create it, I think. And I'm knocking on wood right now when I say that, because I had shrimp the other night, and I had a little flare, small flare, little, very, very, very small.
So what is that? The sodium content that's causing that from the shrimp, or like the iodine? Like, what is it that makes a flare up from shrimp?
That's funny you say that, because I don't know. Because they have this word called purines that they use to to sort of rationalize and create and it's not, I don't want to say illusion. It's just that's the medical term for what causes gout are purines. What are purines? I don't have an idea.
What the fuck are they? I've never even heard that term.
Yes, I have looked it up. I've looked it up, and I'm like, what are purines? And basically, what it boils down to is your chemistry, your body's chemistry, and if because like you look at purines and what shows up: asparagus, shrimp, lobster, crustaceans, steak, pork, everything that you would eat shows up.
All the good stuff.
Yeah. And so it's like this fucking long list of like where you literally you have to kind of like look at it and go, what? But no, I don't really eat shrimp because I don't really like shrimp. I think shrimp is I think if you're gonna go all in, then go all in. Why buy shrimp? Because shrimp doesn't.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I will say that, I mean, if I get a couple pounds of shrimp, throw in a fuck ton of Old Bay, some beers, and some vinegar, some black pepper, and boil that shit for like 4.5 to 5 minutes, you have food for everybody. And I enjoy the process of that because I think when I grew up, we always had like steamed shrimp. So like that, just that process of eating the shrimp like that.
It's called low boil, and yes, we all. It goes back to the past of, of course. It's
nostalgic, dude. It's nostalgic.
Best word used all night.
Yeah. So that's just all I'm saying. It's like I don't think I could ever just cut out shrimp. Is it the best thing ever? No. But like just the act of sitting around, as a family, and I remember like me and my dad just peeling shrimp in the kitchen for fucking 2.5 hours or something. Right. And we're just eating fucking shrimp, right? Dipping it in cocktail sauce, sticking it in tartar sauce, dipping it in all this other shit. But I understand what you're saying though. It's not the best thing. It's not even that filling.
It's not the best thing. It's the fact that it's not what it was whenever we were younger. That's the thing. It's the fact that like whenever you were younger, when I was a kid, I remember it was always tiger shrimp. I don't know where the tiger shrimp came from. Apparently they came from the East Coast or whatnot. And they were white shrimp with black stripes. And you had to have that little red thing to run down the back of the bag and clean the shrimp.
Yeah, pull out the fucking poop chute.
Yeah. Well, that's not the poop. That's actually the digestive. Poop's on the bottom. I mean, it's all anatomy. But we eat the shit. We don't eat the food that they ate. But
it's disgusting.
Well, it is what it is.
No, it's fine. It's still delicious.
But I just recall back in the day how great those shrimp tasted, and the shrimp that we get now, or the shrimp that we eat now, because we went from back then from what 2 or 3 billion people in the world, and now 8 billion people in the world, and feeding that many people, you have to do a lot of different things. You got to think about how many grocery stores there are, how many produce counters, how many seafood counters, how many things there are, and think about all the trash that goes out the back door.
So much
boiling.
So much, dude. There's so. I honestly think that's like when you say like all the trash going out the back door, like thinking about. That's got to be one of the biggest issues we have right now. I mean, obviously we have a lot of issues, right? But to think about the amount of food waste is insurmountable. It's a fucking travesty.
So the regular Joe would have no clue.
No, not at all.
Would
But
have,
you
would have,
you and I, like, I mean, you're in the service industry. I used to be in the service industry, and we would see how much shit we would throw away. But when you put that on a larger scale of like a grocery store, or I just think about like all those.
there are probably on average, hell, I can't even put that together. That would make me look stupid. But if
You better bust out your fucking calculator, dog. That's what I'm saying.
I can't do it. I'm just thinking about the dumpster where I'm working now. Dumpster where I'm working now, and the fact that it's constantly full. The recycling bin has become a second, and it's not the employees that throw trash in there, but the homeless people throw trash in our recycling bin, which inevitably becomes not a recycling bin anymore. Now it's trash.
That's
So
disgusting.
they won't dump it because they were not taking trash to the recycling bin.
So then that ruins
that
ruins everything that you guys were trying to recycle.
it ruins the whole
ecosystem of the recycling process.
I guess.
I mean, that's probably not a right term to use, but I'm just saying, like, I'm thinking if you had a recycling bin and you were doing the proper things to recycle,
well,
how we're supposed to.
I think it's more of the effect of like trying to do the right thing and then being cut in the Achilles heel because you can't get the right thing done, kind of thing.
Yeah, it just screws it over. I mean, and on top of the fact that, like, I mean, there's been a lot of shit recently. They're saying like they're not going to be able to recycle anymore or something. I think I think I remember reading something about it. I don't know.
No, well, there was the thing where China took all our plastic,
and
then they finally decided that they weren't going to take it anymore, and so now we are going to have to. And this is all stuff that I've read on the internet. I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm saying this verbatim from anything that's fact. It's just that what I was told was that what I read was that China was not taking plastic from around the world any longer, and so that was going to build I was going to create a buildup of waste in the United States, which already, if you think about the dumpster behind every restaurant, the dumpsters behind every business, the dumpsters behind every all of the trash, where does all that shit go?
I know.
I mean, you can build a landfill that's that's as big as Kansas, but eventually
I would say bigger.
But
you're gonna have to expand.
I just don't. I mean, I don't know.
Fucking Louisiana territory, bitch. You talking about the plastic territory? It's about to become. Dude, we have nowhere to put everything, and it's kind of scary if you're saying that like China's saying shit about plastic, because think about that big ass fucking thing that's out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. There's this
island the size of Texas of plastic trash.
Plastic, and it's like, what are we just gonna keep compounding on it? Like, I don't know. I mean, plastic honestly might be our downfall as a species.
As a society, plastic is the end game for everybody. I haven't bought fish and I don't know how long. I don't eat fish. I don't.
So
because the fact that they're eating because the fish eat the. God, maybe I sound so stupid.
No, you don't sound stupid. But I was just going to ask you just to, get you to clarify.
There's little orange bubbles in the shampoo that you Noxzema or whatever it's called, Noxzema,
yeah.
I don't know what's called. I don't
Noxzema.
I use
it
cheap food line. The stuff that you wash your face with, it has the little orange the orange little whatever those things do. I have no clue. What does that do to your face? And anybody that uses that should ask themselves the same question: what does that do? Because it doesn't burst; it's still there. So, you read both sides of every equation. You try to make yourself educated and informed and do this and that. And I guess one of those things I read at one point was that the fish are eating the little bubbles, the little orange balls from the Noxzema, Neutrogena. Is that what I think? Neutrogena.
Yeah, so there's Neutrogena and there's like Noxzema. I didn't know which one you were referring to, but I think you referred to Neutrogena. Yeah.
The orange shit that comes in a bottle, you pump it out. It's got it's not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's got
and when you go to the beach, all of that shit gets pumped right out in front of you. There's all that fucking those like waste pipes going right out to the ocean. What is in those pipes, by the way? Do you have any idea?
A lot of times, I mean, I know a lot of that stuff contains a lot of like prescription drugs and like.
But what's in that? I mean, they certainly can't get away with just piping, shit into the ocean from everything else.
I just know to make sure if I'm going to the ocean, I'm not next to a shit pipe. That's for sure.
But is that what that is? Is it shit going out?
I'm guessing it's raw, not raw sewage. Maybe it's been processed. I don't know, but I know there has been studies that have found like prescription, like minute levels of prescription drugs and like fish and shit around areas and that. So that stuff is going through. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not a fucking doctor or anything or a nurse, but like I know that, if you're taking a lot of supplements and vitamins and stuff, a lot of the time that shit's just getting flushed out through urine.
For sure.
Yeah. So
your body can only take, so if someone says 2,000%, your body's your body's not gonna get all that.
Exactly. Your body's like, bruh.
Yeah.
I'm already at 100.
It's not even taking 20% of it. It's only what it can take. It's like, what are you giving me? Fucking 4,000% of vitamin C? I don't need that.
So I mean, I know there's been studies and shit. I mean, I'm in no way, shape, or form trying to like create a serious opinion on this, but I just, for what I remember hearing in the past, it's like those pipes that are pumping into the water and to, that's going to where the fish are. There's a lot of stuff that we're flushing.
It's right on the beach. Yeah. I mean, you have to walk over it.
Yeah, no, that's just gross. That's just gross.
But what's in that?
Your fucking guess is as good as mine, man.
I've always been so curious as to, because they weren't always there. Those were not always there. They came up in like the early 90s.
It's because we are overpopulating.
Yeah. And I guess COVID was the way to kill everybody off. I don't know.
That was the great QAnon scheme, is just to create this virus and kill everybody off, right?
Look, I don't want to sound ignorant, but I don't even know what QAnon is. I know I've heard it. I've heard of Portland and all that shit and all the Republicans and all this crap and Black Lives Matter. And I'm not interested in any of it.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it.
And have good family and things like that. I'm good with everybody that I know. I'm
good with everybody I know too, man, but I'm not good with people that are QAnon people, because that's just fucking crazy. I have friends that are like kind of conspiracy theorists, but they're not QAnon members.
Is that the dude that's like always the big dude that's always like on
Nobody knows who he is.
What's the guy's name that
Alex Jones.
Yeah, Alex Jones. That's the guy.
That's exactly what you're talking about. He's a QAnoner, yeah, but he's not QAnon specifically. It was some do what?
There's a person that is QAnon.
Apparently, yeah. They call him Q. And apparently because he started posting on 4chan and like 8chan.
I didn't know there was an 8chan.
Yeah. That's like where it gets worse.
That's deep. Wow.
Yeah. So like he created this whole ideology that there's the deep state and there's this like cabal and the reckoning is coming, all this shit. And then like that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and some other people were like drinking the stem cells from babies and shit. And then like then Alex Jones goes on about there being lizard people. Like it's complete and there's the whole deep state, like, and that Trump was put into power by God and Jesus because he was here to come to destroy the deep state. And they literally think that. So I can't deal with anybody that thinks anything like that. Like that's the moment where I'm like, I'll never talk to you again. Like I cannot get down with that because that is so fucking ridiculous that you would actually think that. I can understand like conspiracies. Oh, like I think the government might have killed JFK. Okay, cool. We'll prove it. I mean, I get it. It is pretty sketchy. But when you come talking about like there being a fucking child sex ring in the basement of a pizza place, and then some guy goes and shoots it up, that's fucking insane, dude.
It's a South Park episode, is what that is.
Yeah. And I cannot get down with that. So that is my stance on that. I cannot get down with that.
Never.
And I know you're not anywhere near that. Trust me. I know you're not anywhere near that. I just wanted to explain the extent to which this whole QAnon bullshit.
Wilbur, I've never even.
You've never even come close to that. I just wanted to take the opportunity.
I've never even researched. I don't even know what that is. Like I just told you, it's like I didn't even know what that was because I'm like,
yeah, dude.
Like people talk about QAnon, and then there's like another faction on the right side or something. I don't care anything about any of that shit. It doesn't do anything.
The Proud Boys, maybe.
Whatever, whoever.
Yeah, they were fucking white supremacists.
Whoever it is, in either side of, like political matters and disputes belong in that realm. Just that set. They don't belong in some sort of fucking faction of a militia that's false or created. And it's like, god damn, they've created like this rivalry that I'm not going to keep up with. I'm not interested in it. I'm not going to buy into it. I'm not going to engage in it. I don't care about it. Like if you want to hate each other, then hate each other. But I'm not going to get on either side. I know exactly what I want, and neither that I'm so ignorant about. I'm ignorant on both sides, completely ignorant. Completely. I don't want to watch it because it's hate. And it's meanie, it's mean, it's mania, it's bullshit. It's like fucking I'm not interested in it. I don't like I said, I don't know who the Proud Boys are. I don't know who QAnon is. And whoever the other ones are, I don't know anything about them. The kid that killed somebody up in Minnesota
my god.
Like I don't know anything about that. I'm not looking at it. I don't care. And if somebody looks at me and says, "Hey man, you're a dumbass, you're ignorant, you're not paying attention," I'm like, "You're right. You're absolutely right. I am not paying attention because I'm not going to allow myself to get worked up over something that does not affect me. And if you think for 1 second that it affects you, then you're a fucking dinosaur brain, fucking pterodactyl bird brain. You have no clue that did not affect you.
Well,
it does not affect you at all.
I will counter that, if I may.
Absolutely, for certain.
I would say that while certain things like that, like Kyle Rittenhouse, which is what you're referring to, may not affect you directly, but there is precedent and case law that can be set that would affect, the rest of the country. So there are certain things where it's like, okay, it doesn't affect you directly, but if it's
I'm not speaking about the murder. Continue.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, people get passionate about shit like that because sometimes things are fucked up, right? Which and
Yeah.
people get passionate about it. You personally may not care, like not saying you don't care about it. You just feel like it's not a pressing thing in your life at this time, right? You have your own stuff you're dealing with, right?
I'll come after you finish.
Yeah. So, but like something like with the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, you know, that like I feel like it starts to set precedent that like the whole stand your ground shit is going to start spreading through the country. And that's just too dicey for me to get behind. I'm not a fan of guns. I'm not really a huge fan of the Second Amendment. I mean, it's there. I think there need to be some changes. But in that specific incident, like what went down, people were just passionate about it because, well, some people are just because they feel like, you know, this kid killed
Time out.
these
Time out
people.
for a second. Just take a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm in agreement with everything you're saying. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is the fact that, you know, in defense of any of that, I'm not. Now, if the dude was not walking down the street doing the fucking protest, then he would have never faced the opposition or whatever, if you will. I don't know. So that's the thing that drives me crazy. It's like, why are and the people that should be out there doing that in the right way are right. And I think that's wonderful, because the streets are free. And however, you don't carry a fucking machine gun down the fucking street.
Right.
What are you doing with a machine gun? Walking
Why
down the
why was he there? He shouldn't have been there.
I
They
don't
they,
know.
they say they were going to protect some place of business or something. Like, I'm like, okay, so first of all, you're 17 years old. What are you doing with an AR-15? Like, you shouldn't even been there in the first place. And I think his mom dropped him off or something. Like, I don't know enough to. I just know that
Yeah, that's it.
I think the whole
Th-
entire
th-
situation was fucked up, and there's forever until the end of days. There's going to be uh, arguments over what happened that night, and everyone on the right's going to say he stood his ground, he was protecting himself. Everyone on the left is going to say he fucking killed those people in cold blood. But at the end of the day, he got off. So I mean, there's no double jeopardy. You can't.
I can't. I've
That's the
seen it.
term, right? That's the term,
I've
right? Double
seen it.
jeopardy. Like you can't try someone again for something they've been acquitted.
Right. You can't do
Yeah,
it twice.
yeah,
I've seen the videos, and the thing is, yes, he did defend himself, but at the same time, if somebody's walking down your street with a fucking machine gun going to kill your family,
yeah.
then you have to attack. Yeah, you have to attack.
When we were kids, if some dude ran up behind you and punched you in the back of the head or something, and you for some reason had a gun when you're 17 years old and you turned around and shot him, no, I'm sorry.
Okay, so there's no reason for a 17-year-old kid to ever have
Exactly.
a
Even to have a fucking pistol. This dude had a
there's
fucking AR-15.
there's no reason for a kid of that age to even be protesting anything because he has no idea what's going on. And that was the biggest thing for me going over the last couple of years, the fact that the high school kids were protesting, and like, you don't know anything about anything, but it's fine.
No, I mean, it's
Wish. I'm not going to knock anyone down. I just don't think that you understand. Like, watching affluent kids go protest for things that they didn't really understand,
well,
and where they'll be in 10 years, they'll be like, fuck that, because that's where they will be.
well, I'll tell you this, and I'm only cutting in because I have a story about what you just said. So it's like, teenagers that are protesting just because they feel like it's cool, right? Like they're like super passionate about it. It's because teenagers are passionate about shit, right? I mean, I remember specifically it was in beginning of 2004 when I was in high school. Me and two other dudes had a bunch of Carrie Edwards signs, like about this big. And we went around fucking slapping them up all over the brick buildings in South Mech. And because we fucking hated George W. Bush. We were just because we were just these young 14, 15-year-olds that were like anti-war, like all this shit, right? And I remember like a teacher coming out and saying, like, I didn't know there was so many liberals here. I mean, ever since then, it's like, okay, like obviously you at that age, we tried to make a difference if we could, but we couldn't vote. So, I mean, there's passion in everything. Is it directed towards the right thing all the time? No. But there is passion there. Like there is a good heart behind some things when people get super passionate, but there's also bad things that happen when people get super passionate. So I just wanted to say that because I just thought about us going around with the Carrie Edwards signs.
No, I mean, I think that's all. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I don't, I think back on. I mean, the first time I voted, I didn't vote until I was fucking like 30 years old, 28 years old, I think. And I voted for
Damn,
Obama.
Jimbo.
I wasn't interested in politics. And I'm still not. I just told you that. I'm not
Yeah,
interested in the devil games. I'm not interested in it. And that's something that probably somebody would say, fucking asshole, idiot. But it just doesn't benefit. It doesn't benefit everyone. It benefits a certain class on this side, and if it's the other way, it benefits certain people on that side. It's not a democracy. The United States is a republic, and it still is. It's always been a republic, and it's always going to go for the fucking rich white guy. And then everybody else has to figure it out to their little legislative small governments and mayors and shit like that. But they're always going to be managed by that big fucking Uncle Sam shit. But we do live in a great country. I'm not mad at that. There's just like the whole like, oh, it's free. We're free and it's freedom. There's nothing free about having to pay fucking taxes like crazy, having to pay for if you go to the doctor and you got an ingrown toenail that's just what comes to my mind immediately. It's still having to pay $1,000 to not see anybody. What happened? I didn't see anybody. They gave me a prescription. What it cost $1,000?
Yeah.
What?
Well, but
I want to hear the but.
That's why a lot of people on the left are trying to fix that shit. There needs to be a lot of reform when it comes to that. And it just keeps getting blocked. And it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So how is our country that great? We're essentially at a fucking stalemate.
And it's always going to be stalemate because
we have a fucking two-party system. The two-party system does not work. It does not work. It does not work.
House of Commons, House of Lords, completely taken, and a king or queen. House of Commons, House of Lords, king or queen. And
head of state, head of church. Like, no, don't get me started on that because I don't even know why I said that.
What's called the checks and balances. Checks and balances. That's what's called. Checks and balances. And you're never going to get past anything because the checks and balances. Because if anything is beneficial for the American public, such as free healthcare, which we have more money than any country in the fucking world, probably more than any country.
Don't we have like more debt than anybody in the world too? Don't we have like more debt than anybody? I mean, I'm asking you. That's a genuine question. Like, aren't we like trillions in debt?
I think that's a
made up number?
thing
Or
that's I don't know. I mean, the
yeah,
national debt is. I think every
yeah.
world
No, I don't
is.
know. You can
I don't.
finish your
That's
thought. I apologize.
For me to look at that right there, and it said Bill Clinton got us back to above national debt. I don't. That's an odd, fabricated sort of
Yeah,
statistic.
I seriously do not know. I mean, I could look it up, but
I don't
I
think
don't want to.
this could be in debt to anyone. I mean, I suppose it's possible, but yeah, there's been all those accusations, all those things I've heard over the years of like China owning like the White House and then washing the money. Like, what the? How's that possible? How is it possible for China? What? Yeah, China owns pretty much all of the United States. Mount Rushmore. So, I mean, the almighty dollar is the standard for currency. That's the standard for currency. You don't put anything against, the peso. Nothing goes against, your money doesn't go against the peso. If you're fucking in Samoa or whatever,
I have
your
it.
money put against the dollar. That's the money of the world. That's the economy of the world is the dollar. The euro beat the dollar for 20 years. And then the UK, backed out. And so now the dollar is back, which it never left as far as being the X factor of, you remember that first fraction you ever learned, X over 10 equals 1 over 5 kind of thing.
What is that, algebra? I mean, I don't.
Yeah, first algebraic fucking equation. It's the first equation you ever learn. X over 10 equals 1 over 5.
Sure,
So
we'll call it that.
that's the dollar. That's what the dollar was. That's what dollar is. The dollar is the money that makes the world go around. There are.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead.
I mean, I had a question for you. I wanted to let you finish your thought before I asked you it.
It's not even thought. We've just gone from Roseanne to national monetary currency.
So, do you think America is the greatest country in the world?
Yes, I do. I do. I do.
Like, is there a reason why?
I think that the United States still, and what makes it the greatest country in the world is the fact that you can freely move from North Carolina to Tennessee, Tennessee to Kentucky, Kentucky to Arkansas, Arkansas to Georgia, or Arkansas to Louisiana. And you can do all that without ever being pulled over, without ever being looked at, without ever being searched, without ever doing anything. As long as you are obeying the laws of the land, you can go wherever you want to go. Anywhere else in the world, you will have to go through searches, seizes, and sometimes, being locked up. And that's not.
Wow.
That's not saying that. That's just the way it is. You can go to England and get to Wales, and you'll be thrown in a cell because of something just doesn't look right as an American. And that's the second most free country in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, but
also there's always like I said, the United States also has everybody from everybody around the world. So everything from the world is in the United States. Everything's there. Look, you're not going to go to Hungary and eat McDonald's. but you wouldn't want to eat McDonald's in Hungary. I mean, they probably have a McDonald's, but you're not going to go to Singapore and say like, dude, I want like a fucking big fat ass huge North Carolina fucking cow steak, Angus black, medium rare mashed potatoes. Not gonna get that, but you can get Singapore noodles tomorrow. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, just I understand what you're saying. Like we can go from Kentucky to Nevada to Wyoming, whatever, right? But that's because we are United States. But if you can't really compare that to places in Europe where you're going from country to country.
European Union is all right. European Union is the adaptation of the United States of America. It's the same style. That's what they're like. Hey, we got to become the European Union. We got to be able to use the same railroads to run from here to there. Like,
but it's still going state to state, and each state has different, or each country.
Right.
Sorry, it was country to country. Each country had different rules.
Right.
But here in the United States, each state has different rules. They each have their own jurisdictions. Our shit's just run differently.
You're answering your own question.
So you're saying that the United States is the best country in the world because we have states and they're just separate jurisdictions in which each state has their own rules. But then in Europe, you're saying like you can't travel up. If you travel to other countries, then you're going to get arrested. Like, I don't.
No. I'm just saying that the United States is no different than Europe as far as how geographically how it's set up. As a European, you're a European, and that's a big thing. It's like, it's not me put this together, but the United States of America is no different in sense of like, all right, so they have countries, they have nationalities. They have nationalities. That's a better way to play it, is nationalities. We are one country. We are one nationality, but we are multiple different states, and so it's like, all right, so United States is the United States of America. We have 50 states, and then Puerto Rico and American Samoa and Guam, whatever. And then there's the European Union, which is the 50, the 48, I think it's 48, the 48 constituent nations of the European Union that are all there together, which is very large, because they have their Canada up top with Scandinavia and stuff.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, just think about that. The fact that we have 50 states, that's 48 countries.
Right. But it's generally the same size. And they are, you look at like Norway, it's the size of like fucking California, or something like that. Maybe smaller.
I mean, dude, I think Iceland's the size of Kentucky.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's hard for me to put this into words and trying to put it together, but the general idea is that yes, the European Union is a beautiful thing because it aligns all those people together. They are the EU, and there are, yes, nations are completely different than states for certain, because we all speak English over here, whether the dialect's completely crap, and they miss, but they all speak different languages, but they're all their own state, their own. Europe's beautiful, man, with the fact that they're able to get away with all that shit right there. And I hope that I hope that Ukraine and everything going over there doesn't create like a World War III. I thought it was going to, but it feels like Russia's just like so at everything. Yeah. But they have all their own languages. But there's a beauty in that. There's a respect aspect of it, and it's like this. Like, we're Greek, cool. You're Greek, we're not. Or we're Italian. Good to see you. let's fucking chill, And I think that's a that's the big thing about that right there. Like if you go on tour in the United States, you'll get a bunch of different cool shit from every state in this country. Everybody's got something off. And then over there, just about the same size, you're gonna get just as much different shit over there. It's a beauty of it.
Well, and that's another question I have for you. It's like, everyone says, America is the melting pot, right? Cultures and shit.
Best melting pot in the world.
But also, to your point where you were saying, it's like, if you're in Europe, you're, Greek, you're Italian, you're German, you're French, you're English, you're Spanish, all that's right around there. Like, you can experience all that stuff. So I understand they're not all living in the same country, but the Europeans most of the time seem a lot more well informed about other languages and other cultures, and they're much more cultured. Whereas here we're like, fuck it, America, freedom. I don't give a fuck. It's America only. How is that? And like, fuck you if you don't speak English. Get out of my country. Like, there's a sense of arrogance. It's a sense of arrogance that, like, that it's never sat well with me. It never has.
It's never sat well with me either. It's pompous and it's arrogance. But that's just all right. So, all right. So
hold on. Let me finish my thought real quick, because it was in the back of my mind and just came back up. So the fact that America, 1776, right, and somehow we're such a young country, but we think we're the best ones. And that only happen like after we went from being an individualistic society, and then we got bombed by Pearl Harbor, and then we were forced to join the war. And then once we all won the war and defeated the Axis, and we come back, and there's the baby boomer generation. And is that when we thought we were like the best country ever? Like, the fact that we have the audacity to like claim, I won't say the audacity, I'll say that we have the gumption to claim that we are the best country in the world, and we're like one of the youngest. What is it that makes us the best? That's my thing. I mean, I enjoy my freedoms in living here, but do I think we're the best country in the world? I don't know, man. I think there's a strong argument that we're not.
Well, tell me who's better.
Dude, the Scandinavian countries, yeah, they have high tax rates, but they're
happiness rates and,
yes, exactly. I couldn't think of the word. Yeah.
I mean,
the Scandinavian countries, I mean, there's a few other European countries, but I think it's pompous for us to have this like ideation that we are 100% the best country in the world. And I'm like, dude, we are not, dude. I mean, we have a lot.
It's our society. We create everything that goes around the world. Everything,
right? But does that make us the best? Like, then you have to look at you have to look at the happiness level. Like, do we have a lot of poverty, a lot of shit that goes down that people are not happy with? But you have this whole faction of people that are like, fuck you, freedom, best country in the world, liberty, suck my balls. And it's like, well, no.
Like, you asked me if I thought there was a better country to live in. I think was what your question was.
Yeah. What would you say?
My answer was no, I don't think so. Now, and my reasoning behind that is the fact that the freedoms that we have they're paramount, and I don't know that there's another place in the world that would give us, or, you know, I mean, if we were Finnish or Swedish or Norwegian, you know, then, or Iceland,
Fuck yeah. Fuck
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like Icelandish, then maybe that would be, you know, that if we were of that nationality, then yes. But as Americans moving there, it probably would be it probably would be we probably wouldn't get the damn parade, you know, thrown for us. We'd probably be like, you're taking advantage of our soil, kind of thing. But I don't know. They could also look at us and say, like, you know, willkommen.
I was gonna say Willkommen.
You know, I don't know.
I mean, what do you think about if we were to move to Canada? How do you think that would be?
They won't let you in.
Well,
They will not let you in unless you have a job.
it didn't used to be like that.
No, but they won't let you in unless you have a job.
So what does that say about us?
We're shit.
Exactly.
Well, this thing is the government has it's just turned to shit. Because what it's done is that it's changed. We used to have this, you know, this bipartisan government that was Republican, Democrat, or whatever, and that was the thing. And then it went to liberal. I don't even know all the terms for it. Like,
You talking about the Canadian? You talking about the Canadian government?
No, I'm talking about the United States.
Oh,
It used to be Democrat, Republican, and then independent. Now it's like Democrat, Republican, independent, libertarian,
Green Party.
yeah, Green Party, Tea Party.
But that harks back to what we were saying earlier, though.
I don't even know why these people are. Like, what is this?
We're literally
non means. I don't even know what that is.
Exactly. We are literally just a two-party system, Democrats and Republicans. That's it. All these other parties that come in, I get it. You know, more power to you, but you are never going to win a general election unless something fundamentally changes. So all you're doing is you're stealing away votes in the general election. That's it.
The Green Party.
Yeah. Well, what was her fucking name? Like
Annie and something.
I thought it was Julie something. See, we don't even fucking know. And then with the libertarians, it was something with a J. Well, another J.
I don't know.
It was something Johnston or Johnson or something.
No, I had somebody talk to me the other day. He's like, Ben Carson was so smart.
Oh my God.
And then he started talking about the fact that he thought that we were aliens or some shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. You heard this shit?
No, but it doesn't surprise me. And that sounds like some Alex Jones shit, dude. Oh, the fucking lizard people.
No, it was like
got fucking Hillary Clinton up there drinking the stem cells of babies. That's I think what probably happened is that guy was like a Ben Carson fan, but then he was also a conspiracy theorist. So
all right, so I gotta think about this. It was like he believed in like the pyramids in Egypt. I looked this up.
I said Ben Stein. Ben Carson thought that about the pyramids.
All right. Although Carson he's a Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh.
This is something I heard secondhand, so I don't even know if it's right.
I mean, it's probably was this some guy that came to your restaurant?
No, it's one of my friends.
Wow. Okay.
I ain't looking that shit up. Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. Who gives a shit?
It's gonna take too long for me to find it because it's buried. But no, it's like he didn't believe the pyramids were built for tombs. They weren't tombs. They were like grain silos or something like that. A little.
I mean, I saw It's so funny that you bring that up because I saw a fucking video yesterday of a skydiver that like landed. He didn't land on the one of the pyramids, but he kind of like just grazed right over the top. He didn't touch it. He kind of just like swooped right over it. Got so close. You could see there's fucking like engravings and shit up there. And you can see the hole where like the sun like was supposed to come in. Like it was just crazy, insane engineering that it was just way ahead. I mean, I don't know how the fuck they did it. But the fact that people think it was aliens, I'm like, come on. Do you
I
think it
mean,
was aliens, Jim? Did I just call you out on accident?
no, I don't not believe in. I don't. It's like, all right, that's an odd thing to ask me, but I don't not believe in aliens.
No, no, I believe in aliens,
You
but
know,
I don't think the
it's not
aliens
that I
built the pyramids.
don't not believe in aliens. I don't think that aliens would come down and do things like that and then leave. You know, like, oh, we're gonna build, a bunch of pyramids all over certain parts of, and then we're gonna leave.
We're gonna
Um,
build you some pyramids for you and not tell you
yeah,
that we did it and then dip. Like,
I
what
just
sense does that?
I have a huge confusion over the fact that like those blocks weigh so much.
Yeah, it's
How
crazy.
the fuck did they get them there?
I would. That's like a thing I've thought about in my life. I'm like, I would love to see how they did that. I mean, I've seen hypotheses of how they did it.
We all have.
Yeah, but how did they really do it? And something that the people that are like fucking aliens built it, like you said, it's like, why?
They must have had camels, like 30 camels carrying
Yeah,
a
they had some
pulling
crazy pulley system.
camels pulling like 30 camels pulling some shit because that rock is not from there.
Where'd it come from?
It's like 100 miles away.
God damn. Yeah. I don't know. That's funny though. You brought it up about the aliens. It's
And
like,
I say 100 miles. I mean, I'm probably inaccurate, but I'm almost positive that was like, and we
motherfucker,
all
motherfucker, I believe you because you get 9 out of 10 Final Jeopardies right. So
not not
pretty much
necessarily.
whatever you tell me, I'm like, he's probably right.
Dude, did you get that one on the other night? That was T.S. Eliot.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. That was the one, the wasteland. I did not
God,
get it.
oh,
And you didn't get it either, but you did say T.S. Eliot. So I was fucking super proud of you that you even came up with T.S. Eliot because when I saw that clue, it was like, I don't even fucking have an idea. And I just walked away. And then meanwhile, I text you, you're like, I don't know, something by T.S. Eliot. And I'm like, well, it was The Wasteland. And you're like, oh damn, I looked it up. The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot. I'm like, you motherfucker. Smarter than me, man.
I didn't have any idea what that was. But Brandon texted me last night, I guess. He's like, hey, did you get five? I'm like, yeah. I was like, you didn't? He's like,
Is that Disney?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
remember, I didn't get that one. You got it. I didn't get it.
Yeah. I was like, I was like, look, I told him, I was like, hey man, I wasn't sure, like 100% sure, because I don't remember her name from Aladdin. But as soon as I saw the language, I knew it was, I knew it was Aladdin. But
Yeah. I just completely missed that one. But then how the fuck did you get sorry, the one fucking Atlanta?
I didn't get.
Yes,
I
you
didn't.
did.
No,
Yes,
I
you
did
did.
not.
Dude, you must have been blackout drunk when we talked last night because I read it to you and you said I gave you like 45 seconds and you said Atlanta?
I didn't get that.
You did get that one. You
No, I
did
didn't.
get
I
that.
looked.
Yes, you did.
I watched the show today. I didn't get it. I didn't even get it today. I said Des Moines.
I know, but you initially were thinking Des Moines, but then you came and told me Atlanta. And I told you that it was initially named something different, but then they did the feminine name of Atlantic because of the railroad that was coming through. They changed the name to Atlanta, and somehow you guessed Atlanta. So unless you cheated and you're finally going to admit it to me so I can tell Marissa.
I don't cheat.
I know you don't cheat.
Shit. I got it right last night.
Yeah.
Got it wrong today.
I mean, dude, it was probably like 3 in the morning.
No, I went to Des Moines. I was like, that's Des Moines. I was like, I went through every my mind. I'm like, Des Moines. That's the only one that needs sort of.
Yep. You and I talked about it because we were thinking Des Moines, because maybe like the DES maybe became a feminine something. We don't know. And then, but you had said Atlanta, so it didn't matter.
So, I got it right last night.
Yeah, you did. And this is on the podcast. So you just admitted to being a little tipsy last night.
Tipsy? It was fucking. What was my reasoning behind that?
You had none. You literally just went
Atlantic.
Yeah. Because it's the female version of Atlantic. And somehow you came to Atlanta and you thought of it. And then you and I sat here and I fucking looked it up and we've researched it to figure out why the name changed from Atlantic to Atlanta. Damn, Jimbo. I swear we talked for like 15 minutes about it.
I know you told me you told me you had to go to bed. That's all I remember. It's like, I gotta go to bed. I gotta start anymore. So
the fucking soccer game. Oh,
wow.
Yes. Shit was so sick.
I don't know. It's weird how the brain works where you get something.
Yeah. But no, you got it. I mean,
I feel like I cheated the game, honestly.
You even, well, funny thing is when we were talking about it and you got it right, I told you got it right, and we were trying to figure out why it was called Atlanta. You kept being like, I didn't get that right. I'm like, yeah, you did. You're like, fuck you. I didn't fucking get it right. I don't feel like I deserve to get this right. I'm like, I mean, you said, what is Atlanta? You got it right. So I spent time to find the
I'll be honest
reason.
with you, ask me that right now, I would have not gotten it right. I would have not gotten it right.
You would have said Des Moines.
I would have said Des Moines.
Yeah. I don't even think I had. I can't even remember what my answer was. Oh yeah, I had something like Lake something. But yeah, you got it right, so it's fine.
I'm not interested in that.
Doesn't matter.
Saw that. I think I already saw that. I've already saw that. I'd already saw that.
No.
I had to.
No, you told me you hadn't watched Jeopardy since like Monday or Tuesday.
I still haven't. I can actually look at you. I can actually show you how my lap looks with Jeopardy.
No, and I believe you. I think you're.
I'm gonna show it to you.
You're just super smart.
No, I'm not that smart. That's not the case. Can you see the TV?
Yeah, I can see the TV.
I have not watched Jeopardy since. Let's see how far back can we go.
Did you at least finish? Did you? What day?
January 25th.
Holy fuck!
When I watched this January 25th.
I mean, you watched Amy's run though, right?
Yeah, of course. I was upset. That's why I stopped watching because I was so upset about Amy.
I mean, we really haven't had any big runs since then. I mean, there's a couple of people that have been like maybe 3 days, maybe 4, but like really nothing. I'm fucking ready for Tournament Champions, dude. We're definitely gonna live stream that.
Yeah, I mean that's all I've been doing. It's kind of I just haven't. After Amy left, man, I kind of got lax on it.
Bummed out.
I've got like fucking 50 episodes.
Fuck yeah, dude.
January 22nd? Is that the last episode I watched?
God damn, it's been over 2 months.
Yeah. I haven't watched an episode in 2 months. But I know that I saw that. I wouldn't have known the answer to that, Will. Somebody, maybe Brandon texted me that shit or something, and I might have been bullshitting you, trying to impress you. I would not have never gotten that answer.
Well, thank you for your honesty, but I
would have
as drunk as you were last night, I don't think that you had the skill level to remember that Brandon told you the answer. I think you just came up with it.
No, I would. That was a situation probably where I was just like, let me just fucking throw this fucking guy's socks off. That was that. I wouldn't have ever known that. Atlantic, no connection whatsoever.
Maybe somehow you just pulled it out of your ass.
He asked me the question that my answer was Des Moines. It would still be Des Moines. With the fact of the Romance languages being like Mar being the ocean or the sea or whatever, like Moines sounds close. And I don't know that that's even, it's not French or anything like that, but I don't know that Atlanta is a feminist. I don't know how that's even feminine, but
yeah, like I don't get that either. I mean, I guess it's just the language of origin. Like I don't understand how Atlantic goes to Atlanta, going from male to female. Like it did not come to my mind at all. I had zero clue. So, but let's I think we had a great conversation, dude. I'm actually, if you're cool with it, I'd love to let one of my friends check it out, listen to it. I think it was a good political discussion, and like just kind of get a feel for what somebody else thinks. If
I have no problem with you putting anything out there. I think whatever.
Yeah, because I can just post it on my personal YouTube. Like I won't post it on the ladies and gents, but I can post it on a personal one. That way I could send it to you if you just want to listen back, see how it sounds.
Just put it up there, personal, and I'll just listen to it back and forth. I mean, we've gone through a lot of different subjects, and I think that's
that's the understatement of our friendship, that we've gone through a lot of stuff and talked about a lot of stuff.
Right. I think that's important. I think that our topic at the beginning was food, and I don't know that we spoke.
I don't even think we talked about a single grain of salt. I don't think we did.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Other than like the service industry for a second.
But yeah, for a second. But yeah. But that's a good thing about our relationship, is you and I can fucking shoot the shit. Next thing you know, it's 3 hours later. Right? I mean,
you and I.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you and I were neighbors, it would be a fucking
Yeah. But you know what I have to say with that, though? I mean, that's what's up.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.